everyone, and welcome to our second webinar on Windows 11. Today, we're going to be focusing on using Windows 11 with a few different screen readers, including Narrator, Nvda, and JAWS. My name's Mariah Moon, and I'm a program manager on the Windows Accessibility team, and I'm your host today. Today's webinar will consist of about 30 to 40 minutes of demos, and then we'll be answering audience questions. You can send us your questions on Twitter with hashtag ACCWebinar, that's hashtag ACCWebinar with no S, or by emailing ACCWebinars with an S at Microsoft.com. That's ACCWebinars@Microsoft.com. We have a number of people across Microsoft to present to you today, and I'd like to introduce you to the rest of the team. The panelists today are Ann Taylor, Brett Humphrey, and Jeff Bishop. Ann, would you like to start with introductions?
Hello, thank you, Mariah. Hello, everybody. My name is Ann Taylor. I am from Microsoft Accessibility team. You'll hear from me more, but I'm going to stop for now and pass it over to Jeff.
Actually, I think we're going to pass to Brett first, right?
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Brett Humphrey, and I'm the lead PM for accessibility on the Teams organization. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the new Teams features that are in Windows 11 here shortly. And Jeff?
Great. Thank you, Brett and Ann. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. My name is Jeff Bishop. I work on the Windows Accessibility Empower team, where I focus on Narrator, the built-in screen reader in Windows. We have a lot of great content to share with you today, but before we get started, I wanted to share with you a bit of a story. You know, I started back at Microsoft in 2017, and before that, I worked rigorously with Microsoft on lots of different things across the company, Office and Windows and lots of different things. And one of the key questions I get asked is Microsoft truly committed to accessibility? Well, I wanted to speak to this just for 1 second. I'm a user of the technology, I am blind, and I can tell you with a surety that the leadership across this organization, both my manager and the leadership above her, and the senior leadership team within our organization and across Microsoft is deeply committed to accessibility. It's truly a part of the culture of the company. I don't say that lightly. It's seen in all aspects of our work every day when we come to the office. Well, at least virtually when we're working from home anyway. So yes, Microsoft is definitely deeply committed to the work. And we'll talk more about this, but the most vital part of our work is hearing from you, the customer. And we'll talk more about providing feedback later. All right, let's get into some content, shall we? Before we start showing you some things, let's talk about what's new in Windows 11 and some of the things that we've done. And then we'll turn it over to Ann, where she will talk with you about some of the new features. As I said, we take feedback very seriously, and you're going to notice in Windows 11 many of the top things that you have requested actually appearing in Windows 11. For example, many of you requested the startup sound to return in Windows 11. It's now back, along with great new sounds, both for light mode and dark mode. For those of you that use touch screens, you can now dismiss those context menus that you might bring up. You can do that with a 2-finger triple tap. It basically simulates the escape key. There's a lot more things we've done in Windows 11, like lots of new visuals, especially for those of you that are low vision, and so much more. Now what I'd like to do is turn things over to Ann, who's going to talk with you about the Start menu and File Explorer and a number of other things, and I'll come back and talk with you about notifications and some hotkey changes that we've made and more. So Ann?
Thank you, Jeff. Brett, I didn't mean to forget about you, but you can get me later on that. Let's share screen, everyone. I'm gonna share screen, and I'm gonna share my system audio. Now, Mariah, can you hear my audio and see my screen?
Clickable.
I can.
Great. Let's
I'm
go through.
currently seeing the team store.
Fantastic. I'm going to minimize all
Microsoft
that.
document. Folder document.
Everyone, I'm using Nvda. You will see and hear that Windows 11 is screen readers used within the blind. Now, I want to stress a couple principles that undergird Windows 11. We want to make Windows 11 personal to you, and we want to ensure that Windows 11 surface or brings up files and documents and content to you in a most convenient way possible. And I hope that you will find that to be true in the demo. So let's get into Start menu. So I'm going to press Windows local key.
Start window. Search window. Search box edit blank.
Now in this Start search, I can easily type Note.
Oh. Notepad. App right to switch preview 1 of 1 level 1.
And Notepad will come. So much can search for anything here. For now, we're going to look at other area of the Start menu. And
Folder
we're going
view.
to go to Start menu with Windows
Start
local
window.
key again.
Search window. Search box edit blank. Pinned list. Microsoft Edge 1 of 28.
Pin list, Microsoft Edge 1 of 28. This is where you can find apps that automatically pin for you for easy access and for convenient. Convenient factor is really important to Windows 11. What I'm going to do, hey, first letter navigation still works.
M. Mail 5 of 28. M. Microsoft Store 7 of 28. M. Movies and TV 28 of 28.
I don't really watch movie on my work computer, so what if I want to unpin this?
Move to top 1 of 5. Unpin from start 2 of 5. Pinned list. Tips 27 of 27.
See, you can hear that instead of having 28 apps, I now have 27 apps. I'm going to tab over to the next section of the Start menu.
All apps button show all my apps and websites.
All my apps show all the apps on the website. I'm going to press space here.
Space. All apps list. Number grouping 1 of 3D viewer 1 of 1.
And I, for whatever reason, want to repin the movie app back to the Start menu. So I'm going to press letter N for Nancy for now, because I know that M is the last icon in my Microsoft Movie is the last icon in my M letter group. So I'm going to press N for now to get there quickly.
N grouping 8 of 7. N grouping 8 of 17.
Arrow up.
N grouping 7 of 17. Movies and TV.
And right here, I can easily invoke context menu with application key.
Pin to start 1 of 3.
And I can pin to start.
All apps list. M grouping 7 of 17. Move. Back button.
I'm gonna
space.
Go
pin
back.
List. Instagram 19 of 28.
See, as you see now, we have 28 icons here. So what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna open File Explorer, and we can talk about it a little later.
F. File Explorer 26 of 28. File Explorer. Desktop list item focus not checked row 1. Folder
let's
view
go
list.
back to
Recycled in checkbox not selected not checked. Start window. All apps button show all my recommended list.
And we just show you all my apps. And then we went through the pin list. So now
presentation 10 yesterday.
Recommended file list.
All apps button recommended list.
Recommended list of files and documents that you frequently access or most recently accessed. And here, as you can see, I can arrow down to
presentation 9 yesterday at 9. Presentation 8 yesterday at 9. 26
to the various files. And if you come across anything that you want here, you can easily open that. I'm going to tab over one more time.
More button show more of my recommended files, apps, and websites.
Pretty self-explanatory. Show more recommended apps, files, and such.
List. User account for Ann Taylor.
Now, there is a section here for user account, but I'm not actually going to show you that. I'm going to right arrow.
Power.
And this power here, I'm going to press enter.
The PC state on uses low power. App state. So when the PC wakes up, you're instantly back to where you left off.
So
1 of 3.
Here is where you can easily manage power for your computer if you want to put it to sleep.
Shut down closes all apps and turns off the PC.
Shut down.
Restart closes all apps, turns off the PC, and then turns it on again. 3 of 3.
Restart and so on. There's just one more thing I want to show you before we get to, well, actually, let's look at File Explorer right now.
File Explorer, items view list, folders grouping expanded, desktop.
So in File Explorer, there's something new here.
D. Downloads checked row 1. D. Documents checked row 1 column 3 of 26.
The new ribbon. I'm going to go to my document folder.
Items view list, custom office templates not.
And then I'm going to press Alt.
New button collapsed 1 of 9.
So
Start button collapsed 8 of 9.
and I actually arrow right and left between the items. So we're going to new.
New button collapsed 1 of 9. Folder 1 of 14.
And if I want to create new folder, I just create new folder.
Folder menu
right
item focus. Shortcut 2 of 4. Folder 1 of 14.
Within my document folder to create a subfolder on this.
New items view list.
Give it a name, whatever the name that you want to give.
New
So
folder.
that the new ribbon is new in File Explorer in Windows 11. So what I'm going to do now is show you one more thing. Action Center.
Space. Selected
So
check.
what I'm going to do now is press
Recycle bin
Windows
checkbox.
A.
Control center window. Wi-Fi toggle button.
This is where you can see all of the configurations for your computer, like the network
Bluetooth
settings,
toggle button not connected. Press not. VPN button. MSFT VPN 3 of 7.
VPN.
Focus assist. Accessibility button 7.
Lo and behold, accessibility is now part of Action Center. Accessibility settings that are most frequently used in Windows is here. Let's go see.
Accessibility window. Magnifier toggle button not.
So we have magnifier,
Color filters toggle button not pressed 2 of 5.
color filter,
Narrator toggle button pressed 3 of 5. Mono audio toggle button not pressed 4 of 5. Sticky keys toggle button not pressed 5 of 5.
You can see that 5 most frequently used accessibility settings are easy accessible here in Action Center. But what if you want more settings for accessibility? We're going to tab over.
More accessibility settings button. Space. Settings. Search box. Find.
And now I can type
Cap B. R.
Braille.
List. Use a Braille display with narrator grouping 1 of 1. More button
Use
1 of 1.
Braille with narrator. Easily accessible. If you want a more comprehensive settings for accessibility, you can go directly from the Action Center to more settings, and you can easily bring the rest of accessibility setting up that way. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to press Escape here and go back to Action
Folder
Center
view list.
one more time with
Control
Windows
center
A.
window. Wi-Fi toggle.
I'm going to tap over, and you're going to see another feature.
Manage Wi-Fi connections button. Brightness slider 38.
So brightness you can adjust here
39.
with left and right arrow.
Battery charging 100% button.
Battery status you can also find here by tabbing over from brightness.
Edit quick settings button.
And if I want to edit quick settings, remember, well, I don't know whether you remember, there's 7 icons or something like that in my Action Center. So if I want to add more, I'm going to go to edit settings.
Wi-Fi unpin button. Done editing quick settings button. Wi-Fi unpin.
Unpin Wi-Fi if I wanted to. But if I want to add an item to this.
Done editing quick setting. Add quick settings button 2. Space. Cast 1 of 6.
So I can add, what if I want to add keyboard layout?
Okay. Keyboard layout 2 of 6.
So from the list of items, I tab over to add, and then it will bring up the list of items that I can add. So I'm going to press enter on keyboard layout.
Added keyboard layout. Add quick settings button 2 of 2.
So there you go. Keyboard layout now is added to the quick settings.
Done editing quick settings button 1 of 2. Space. Wi-Fi toggle button enterprise pressed enterprise 1 of 8.
So now I have 8 icons instead of 7 in my quick settings. I hope you like it. It's very convenient to access all of the start menus, file explorers, as well as the quick settings in action menu. Windows 11 is all about you, all about your convenience. And please continue to give us feedback. And we really thrive on your feedback for sure. Now, there's so much more here that my colleague can show you Now I really am going to pass it over to Jeff. Jeff?
All right, thank you,
List.
Ann.
Settings window. List.
So as you can see, many of the things that you've learned over the years still remain in Windows 11. And that was really on purpose. We wanted to make sure that Windows 11
Documents
remained
row.
familiar
Microsoft. Webinar 2.
so that you could definitely make sure that it's something that you're used to. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a few things centered around notifications and the system tray, and we're going to talk about hotkeys as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I am going to be using Narrator. There we go.
App sharing, Microsoft.
And Mariah,
Screen sharing tool, Microsoft Teams call.
Showing my screen, and you should be hearing sound.
Yes, looks good, Jeff.
Great, thank you. All right. Now, in the past, we had Action Center, and Action Center contained notifications and all of the things that you saw just a minute ago in our quick settings experience with Windows A. One of the things that we wanted to do was differentiate this in Windows 11 to make it easier for you to be able to get to just your notifications, as well as set your focus settings and actually get a calendar view of things that are important to you. So you can do that with Windows N.
N.
Let me minimize
At desktop
here.
list at notification center window.
There we go. And now I'm in my notifications.
Webinar 2 at notification center window. Notifications. Squad finance.
And
clear all notifications for Microsoft Teams.
You can see here there's all my notifications. And on the left-hand side, we can go into focus settings. And on the right, you can actually see a new calendar view that's available here in Windows 11. Let's go ahead and close this.
Webinar 2.
Jeff, really quick, we can see the Teams meeting, so maybe you can press a windy and go to your desktop and.
Sure.
Microsoft.
Thank you. All right, let's talk about the notification area, or what many people call the system tray, and I'll navigate there with Windows B.
Taskbar pane, notification chevron button.
You navigate this just like you did in the past using the arrow keys. I'll do that now.
Privacy button, apps using your microphone, Microsoft Teams. System network state button, Bishop link internet access, system volume state button, headset earphone, Microsoft. System power state button, battery status 99% available. System clock button, 12:20 p.m. November 17th, 2021. System notifications button, no new notifications. Focus, show desktop button, show desktop button.
And finally, there's a show desktop button here. Now, there's something unique though in Windows 11 I want to show you. And we showed you the quick settings feature first for a reason. I'm going to left arrow here to get back to
system power state button, system volume state button, system network state button, Bishop link internet access,
the system network state. And these three buttons here, the network,
system volume state button, headset earphone.
I'm pressing right arrow, by the way. The volume,
system power state button,
and the power state are all available for you inside of quick settings. The difference here in Windows 11 is that let's say I move to volume. I'm going to do that by pressing left arrow.
System volume state button, headset earphone, Microsoft.
And if I press the space bar on this, we go directly into quick settings.
Space control center window, Wi-Fi button on, Bishop
and
link.
It looks familiar to you here because it's exactly what Ann was showing you earlier. You're not taken directly to your volume settings or your power settings or your network settings. You have to navigate from within here. That's the way that works in Windows 11. Let's go back to the notification area here.
Taskbar pane, notification chevron button.
And one of the things that people often do here with the system tray or the notification area is they really want to be able to quickly and efficiently get to things that are important to them with their applications like Microsoft Teams and other applications. Well, we made a change in Windows 11 to allow you to add and remove these icons to the notification area, and I'd like to show you how that's done now. So I'm going to bring up the start menu, and I'm going to type in taskbar
TASKBAR
and press enter.
Settings window, settings, search box, Find a setting, edit, find a setting.
And I'm in the taskbar settings now, and I'm going to press the tab key.
Personalization, 4 of 11 level 1, selected.
So yes, this is found under personalization.
Personalization, breadcrumb bar item, heading level 1, taskbar items, show all settings, button, expanded.
Now this show all settings expanded button, you're going to see this all over settings. These are new controls that allow you to expand and collapse certain sections of settings. And you can actually even use the escape key to close these sections and quickly and efficiently move across larger sections of settings. We'll talk more about this in just a minute when we talk about settings more. I'm going to press the tab key.
Search, toggle switch, on.
So a lot of these things you can turn off so they don't appear in the taskbar, such as search.
Task view, toggle switch, on.
The task view.
Widgets, toggle switch, on.
Widgets, that's a new feature in Windows 11.
Chat, toggle switch, on.
Chat.
Taskbar corner icons, show all settings, button, expanded.
Again, here's another one of these expand collapse buttons. We actually refer to them as entity controls. We'll tab again.
Pen menu, 1 of 3. Pen menu, toggle switch, on. Show taskbar corner overflow, show all settings, button, collapsed.
Now here is the overflow button, and I'm going to press the space bar on this to expand it.
Space, show all settings, button, expanded.
And I'll hit tab.
Windows security notification icon, 1 of 10.
Now here are a list of applications, and you may have a lot more than 10 on your device, but you'll get a list of applications here, and you can simply use the arrow keys.
Screen reader, 2 of 10. Windows Explorer, Microsoft Teams, 4 of 10.
So let's say that I want to add Microsoft Teams to my notification area. I can do that by arrowing down to it, pressing the tab key.
Microsoft Teams, toggle switch, off.
And it says that it's currently off. So I simply press the space bar.
Space, Microsoft Teams, toggle switch, on.
And it's now toggled on. I can then return to the list by pressing Shift plus Tab.
Microsoft Teams, 4 of 10.
And moving down the list more.
Microsoft OneDrive, 5 of 10.
And let's say I want OneDrive here. So we can just, again, follow the same procedure here. Press the tab key.
Microsoft OneDrive, toggle switch, off.
Hit the space bar to toggle that on.
Space, Microsoft OneDrive, toggle switch, on.
And now it's there. So if I close this by pressing Alt F4 and then minimize myself
Taskbar
to
pane,
the taskbar.
notification chevron, button. User promoted notification area, OneDrive, personal up to date, Microsoft Teams, button.
There you go. Those icons are now here. Now let's talk a little bit more about settings. We talked a little bit about this when Ann presented, and I mentioned it when we were in taskbar settings. I want to take us directly into narrator settings. You can do this a couple of different ways. The quickest way is by pressing Control plus the Windows logo key plus the letter N for narrator, or you can use Windows key plus U and navigate there as well. That Windows U takes you directly into accessibility settings, which is the new name for ease of access. So let's press Control Windows N as in narrator.
Add settings window. Narrator, toggle switch, on.
There we go. So here we are in narrator settings. And one of the things that we heard about settings overall, but specifically we heard from the users that use narrator, is that, wow, narrator has a lot of settings and it's a really, really long page to be able to navigate and get to things quickly and efficiently. So we really worked hard on rejuvenating our settings experience. And this is true even here in narrator settings. So let's press the tab key.
Show all settings, button, collapsed.
And if I expand this, you'll see here.
Space, show all settings, button, expanded. Start narrator before sign-in checkbox unchecked.
You can determine how narrator starts on your device.
Start narrator after sign-in checkbox unchecked. Keyboard shortcut for narrator, toggle switch, on.
You can turn on or off the keyboard shortcut for narrator.
Narrator home, show all settings, button, collapsed.
You can adjust the settings for narrator home. Let's do that here. I'm going to press the space bar.
Space, show all settings, button, expanded.
And if I tab in here.
Open narrator home, open, button. Show narrator home when narrator starts checkbox unchecked.
And let's say that I want to get out of this section. I can simply press the escape key.
Show all settings, button, collapsed.
And now that section of settings collapses. Now let's show you another way of being able to get to an area within settings. This isn't necessarily new, but I want to show you something that is new in settings for Braille. And kind of showed this to you, but I want to also show an example here for you. I'm going to turn scan mode on with narrator space.
Scan.
And I want to search for Braille. So I'm going to bring up our find dialog. So narrator control F as in find.
Narrator find window. Search for.
And I'm going to type in Braille.
B-R-A-I-L-L-E.
And press enter.
Braille, heading level 2.
There we go. So now we're at the heading for Braille. And you could have done that a number of ways. You could have used narrator find. You could have used our heading navigation in scan mode. Number of different ways to do that.
Scan off.
And I'm going to now tab.
Use a Braille display with narrator. More button.
And this is another type of control in settings. These are more buttons, and these open up a new window in settings. So if I press the space bar.
Space. Use a Braille display with narrator. Turn on Braille. Toggle switch on.
Now you'll see a new window where all of our Braille settings are here.
Braille displays. Add a Braille display button. Input language. English. Unified.
You can define your input and output language. All kinds of different settings for Braille here.
Braille displays. Turn on Braille.
If you need to go back, you can shift tab back to the back button.
Accessibility. Breadcrumb bar item. Heading level 1. 1 of 3. Accessibility. 9 of 11 level 1. Search box. Accessibility. 9 of 11. Turn on Braille. Accessibility. Accessibility. Vision. Heading level 2. 1 of 3 level 1.
That will take you back into our accessibility settings specifically here. Okay. Now I want to talk a little bit about hotkey changes, and we threw a lot of these hotkeys at you, but let's just summarize them. So again, Windows A is for our quick settings or control center experience. Again, this used to be the action center. Windows N is for notifications. And we have a new one, Windows C for chat. And to talk with us all about that, I'm going to hand things over to Brett, who's going to tell you all about this really great new experience that's part of Windows 11. Brett?
Microsoft Teams.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen.
Webinar
here.
2.
Make sure I have my audio on.
Hang up. Button.
Previews for Tray menu. Desktop generic PNP monitor 1 of 1. Leaving menus. Screen sharing toolbar. Menu. Previews for share tray menu. Desktop generic PNP.
And
Menu. Previews for share.
Hi, is everything showing?
Yes, looks good, Brett.
Awesome. Jeff, thank you for walking through all the great stuff that's happening in Windows 11. And I want to talk a little bit about one of the new additions to Windows 11. And that really is a part of Teams. It's now built into Windows 11. That's referred to as chats. And it's really there just to help you connect with on your personal life and your friends. And so in Windows 11, to get to that, I'm just going to press Windows key C.
Windows C. Leaving menus. Recent chats. Vertical bar. Microsoft Teams.
And what comes up is a quick list of all these chats. And I'm just going to tab through it.
Search chat.
And
Meet button.
it would generally start here at what's called the Meet Now button.
Chats region. Meet button menu.
And the Meet button menu would just allow you to start a video call right away.
Chat button.
And if you're going to tab your chat button. But as I keep tabbing through it, we're going to go to a search button.
Chats region. Search button.
And I'm going to tap again.
Preview. Chat. Michelle Christensen. Away. Chat. Jeremy.
And what I came into was a list of chats. I've got about 4 people in this chat group right now.
Group chat. Ann and Jeremy. Last message. Chat. Ann Taylor. Available. Last message. : you : Ann. Thumb.
So I'm going to just send Ann a chat. I'm just going to press enter to open a quick chat.
Enter. Opening new tab. About : blank. Entity type equals just window equals not.
And I just press control to have JAWS stop speaking. And now I'm in the type a new message. So I'm just going to press the @ symbol to just mention Ann.
Complementary region. Suggestions list box. Ann Taylor null. 1 of 1.
So as you heard, it was Ann Taylor. I'm going to press enter. And that will add her name.
Enter. Messages main region. Edit.
And now, I'm not really a formal person. I don't really like full names. So I'm just going to press the backspace. And that mentions will delete names all at one time. And so what you'll hear Ann's last name be removed.
Taylor removed.
And so I can then put a comma in there.
Comma. Space.
And sometimes I also like to send emojis. And some little things we did in Teams to make it faster to do emojis is you can do an open parenthesis.
Left parent.
And you can start typing, say, smile.
SM. Smile eyes. 2 of 11.
And as you arrow down,
Smiling face. 3 of 11.
you'll notice we're going to read you what the emoji is, and we're going to tell you the number that are there. So
Smirking, 4 of 11.
Smiling
face, 3 of 11.
We'll just send a smiling face. I'll press enter.
Enter. Messages main region. Edit.
And now that's put the smiling face in the message to Anne.
Smiling face. Blank.
So I'm just going to go ahead and send that by pressing enter.
Enter. Sending ... Message sent.
And so now as we're chatting, we've made it, pretty quick to get to it by pressing Windows key C. You can select your friends that are in your most recent list, and you can do some things like @mentioning people. And as you do that, you can also then delete part of their name if you're not this formal like myself when I'm just doing personal chats.
Message from Ann Taylor. Hi, Brett.
And then you can send emojis, but also you can hear people as we're chatting back and forth. But, 2 people is fine, but maybe we want to add more people. So I'm going to Shift Tab.
Chat content list with 23 items.
So I have the chat content list. I'm going to Shift Tab again.
Add people button menu.
And now to the Add People button.
Enter. Start a group chat dialog. Enter name, email, or phone number. Edit.
So now it's asking us to enter a name or email. I'm just going to add Jeremy to this chat.
J. Jeremy Curry. Search results updated. Use the up and down arrow key to navigate and enter to select.
So as I press J, you heard that Jeremy Curry was there, but we'll down arrow.
Candace Jackson, 2 of 20. Jeremy Curry, 1 of 20.
So we'll just take Jeremy Curry, but again, as you type up and down, we'll read you the information. You know that there's quite a few people in there, so we'll just add Jeremy.
Enter. Edit. Jeremy Curry selected from the list. Cancel button. Create button.
So I'm going to just press the tab to get over to the create button. I'll press enter.
Enter. Enter. Ann Taylor vertical bar Microsoft Teams. Message. Add. Complementary region. Suggestion. Enter. Messages main region. Edit.
So I'm just typed in Jeremy's name.
Curry removed. Comma. Space.
And I'm going to add Ann by doing an @mention to Ann.
Add. Complementary.
Oops.
We did add. Complementary region. Suggestions list. Jeremy Curry. Ann Taylor null. Enter. Messages main. Taylor remove. Com space. Shift enter. Hi. 2. Both. Of. You. Explain space. Left parent. Hi. 1 of 15.
So what I'm doing is I said hi. I just typed in hi to both of you. I'm going to do an open parentheses.
Left parent.
And just type in
W.
wave.
Complementary region. Emoticons list box. Hi. 1. Waiting. It wasn't me. 3 of 15. Waiting. Hi. 1 of 15.
Well, the hand waving isn't working today, but
messages main region.
I'll just send them a
complementary
smile.
region. Emotic. Me. Smile. Smiling. Smirking. Smile robot. 5 of enter. Messages main region. Enter. Sending ... Message sent.
And so again, that's just for sending quick chats. I'm just going to Alt F4 out of it and close.
Alt F5. Alt F4. JAWS Professional.
Alt F4. I'll close out of the window. And then if you like the more full Teams experience, I'm just going to open the Start menu.
Search box edit.
And I'm just going to type in Teams.
Microsoft Teams left parent worker school right parent app. Press right.
Now, Teams for work and school is what you're probably used to using if you use Teams on a regular basis. But I'm going to down arrow and just find the Microsoft Teams.
Teams. Find results and apps. Microsoft Teams app. Press right to switch preview. Enter. JAWS Professional. Opening new tab. About colon blank. Entity type equals just window equals 4F209A43.
And Teams is opened. And now I'm in the chats list in Teams that you might be more familiar with. There's the chat list. You can move between activities, chats, and your calendar. So that's all available. And
chat and Taylor available. Last message.
One of the things that we've been working on.
Level 1. Chat and Taylor.
Is how do we improve the usage of Teams? And so one of the areas that we've gotten a lot of feedback is that they would like to be able to be more efficient in using Teams. So if you're used to using Teams today and you're chatting with Ann and you know you want to reply to something, I can press enter and go right to type a new message.
Enter. Messages main.
I'm just going to type a quick message.
Hi, space. Is another. You shift space. Enter. Sending ...
And so I just said, hi, here's another message for you. And now if I want to get back to the list, I can just press escape.
Escape. Chats region. Preview. Chat.
And we will jump back into the chats list. We've done this to make it more familiar. Many of you might use Outlook. You open, might type, press send, press escape to get back. So try to make that much faster. Other times, if you're using different assistive technologies, say a magnifier, and you don't have to tab and shift tab as much, we're trying to make it quicker to get into the messages. And you can do that by pressing space.
Space. Messages main region. Chat content list with 24.
Oops, I'll just do that again for you
Escape.
real quick.
Control L. Chats. Group chat and Taylor available. Last message : I. Here's another message for you.
So again, I arrowed to Ann Taylor. I'm going to press space and it will jump you into the message list.
Space. Messages main region. Chat content list with 23 items. Seen by here.
And now you're directly in the message list. So it makes it much, much faster for you just to get in and start reviewing the messages. And we'll continue to evolve this as we go forward with Teams. But our goal is really to make it very quick to get to the chat list, get to where you can type a message, move back to the chat list, quickly get to your messages to review your messages. So we're really trying to make it much, much more efficient and quick for you to move around in ways that are familiar and that will help you work more quickly. For today, that's kind of what I wanted to cover for the chats for your personal life that's built into Windows 11. Coming up early next year, we'll have more chats about Teams. So in February and March, we're going to have a couple more webinars. So we'd love for you to stop by. We'll talk more about different aspects of Teams. So please check out the upcoming events for next year for webinars. And we look forward to talking with you more about Teams and hearing your feedback. So thank you for your time today.
Teams chat is cool.
Thank you, Ann, for the chat. And thank you, everybody, for your time and attention.
Control-Shift-M. Task switching. JAWS Webinar 2: Navigate in Windows 11 with a screen reader and keyboard shortcuts. Vertical bar. Screen sharing tool.
All right, I think that's over to me. So thank you, Brett, and thank you to all of the demoers. Before we wrap up, I wanted to reiterate here that we value input and feedback. So please contact us and provide us with both positive and constructive feedback. We'd love to hear your feedback on the feel of Narrator as you use it while working in Windows. And you can submit feedback to us by using the Feedback Hub with Windows F or through the Disability Answer Desk at aka.ms/dad, D-A-D. The newest copy of the Narrator User Guide can be found at aka.ms/narrator-guide. And it documents some new shortcuts and touch gestures that are a part of Windows 11 and Narrator. With that, I think we are ready for some questions. So just to reiterate a little bit on the questions, you can submit questions by sending us some questions on Twitter using hashtag ACCWebinar on Twitter, or an email. You can use ACCwebinars with an S at Microsoft.com. And throughout this talk, we've already had some questions come in, and so I can start with some of those. So the first question I have is, will Windows 11 support current screen readers and assistive technology? Will I need to upgrade my assistive technology? And I think I will hand this off to Jeff.
Okay, thank you. Well, you know, one of the things that we did in this webinar was we wanted to show you the use of multiple screen readers, both first-party experiences like Narrator and our partners that we work with in like Nvda and JAWS. Now, Brett, what version of JAWS are you using?
I'm actually running their latest version of JAWS. So
yeah, JAWS 2022, right?
Yep, correct.
Right, exactly. So as you can see here, we're all running the latest versions of each of the screen readers, and they're working great. But you know, we would also encourage you to check with your AT provider to make sure that you're updated with the most up-to-date information for your specific situation. But we tried really hard to represent the latest versions of software that's available running on Windows 11. So you should feel really confident to bring your assistive technology to Windows 11, whether you're using Narrator, Nvda, or JAWS. Mariah?
Awesome. Great answer, Jeff. And we're actually seeing another related question. People are excited that we're showing 3 different screen readers on Windows 11. And one of the questions has actually come in for Anne. What voice is Anne using and which screen reader? So I'm wondering if we could just go around in a circle quickly and just say which screen reader you were using for the demo and which voice you were using.
Right, so I use Nvda and I use Mark Voice. It's actually part of the narrow speech settings as well as Nvda settings. So if you use, you can choose to use different voices within Nvda, and Mark and David are one of the newer voices you can choose. And in Nvda, I can't speak today, but I find Mark to be very easy to understand. So that's what I'm using.
Yeah, And just to clarify, those are the voices built into Windows 11. Is that correct? And then NVDA just uses them.
That's correct. And it's available. I should say it's available on both NVDA and Narrator.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you.
Brett.
Yeah. I'm just using straight up JAWS, out of the box eloquence, nothing fancy. So yeah, just using JAWS as is. Jeff? I do know Jeff was using Narrator. I'm not sure which voice he had running. But it's
you hear me
nice.
now, Brett?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm having a slight keyboard problem here. I am using Narrator with the Microsoft David voice right now.
Nice.
Yep.
Great. Awesome. So we have another question that's come in here about Teams. So I'll just go ahead and read it. What is the Microsoft Accessibility team doing to improve the productivity and efficiency for screen reader users in Windows 11? For example, Microsoft Teams is technically accessible, however, using it with Narrator NVDA is not efficient. Speech and prompts are extremely verbose, and shared content is not accessible.
Yeah, those are some great questions. A few things. Please keep the feedback coming. We are continuing to reduce verbosity to help folks out. Part of this work to help things more efficient and make things more efficient, you're starting to see arrive in Windows 11, and we're doing that as a place to really learn and run experiments to make things more efficient. So we are definitely focused on making it more efficient. That includes, again, the observation that sometimes Teams is a little verbose. So we're going to continue to reduce verbosity and really continue to work on efficiency. So we believe that is just a cornerstone to really helping people use and be more efficient with Teams. Opening of content has been an issue that's come up quite a bit. Teams is rolling out the ability to open Word, PowerPoint, Excel in the desktop app so that you're not necessarily in the web component that's inside of Teams. So that's an option that is, again, slowly rolling out to the public. For those that don't know, Teams phases things a little bit over time to make sure it works for people as we go. So if you don't have it, it is coming. So we continue to take your feedback, so please keep the feedback coming. Definitely an individual help focusing on part of the screen reading experience. So thank you for the feedback, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of the updates as they come out over time.
Thanks, Brett. Next question. Are there plans to make the neural voices that are used in the read aloud function in Edge available for screen readers like NVDA or JAWS? I'm wondering, Jeff, if you want to talk to this.
Sure. You're going to probably hear this a lot today, but this is great feedback, and we would love it to have you submit this feedback to us. It's something that we've heard, and it's definitely being considered and in our backlog. But yeah, we have nothing to announce today.
Thanks, Jeff. So here is another question about external media. And this question is related to the keyboard. How do I eject external media using the keyboard? And I think that there were also a few other points in this one about using the system tray to be able to access external media. I don't know, Jeff, with your demo with the system tray, if there's anything else or tidbits you'd like to share there.
Yeah, I don't know that we have anything to report out here. I think, again, if you have specifics, the Disability Answer Desk is going to be your best bet there. You can also call them at 800-936-5900 as well. And that would probably be the best way of, working on this specific ask.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. Mm-hmm. We have some positive feedback coming in as a Narrator amateur loving Jeff demo of it with Windows 11. And now Brett introducing chat's Windows key C. So people are excited about some of the things that we're talking about there. Let me see. Next question. Does Microsoft have plans to make the Quick Assist remote utility accessible so that a blind user can connect to a user's computer and still have speech output from the remote computer?
This is great feedback. And again, we would love to hear more about this if you want to file the feedback item. This is, you know, we sometimes use this internally, and I've even been known to, help others with Quick Assist. But you're right, having full speech is something that we would need to work on, similar to what third party provides, like JAWS Tandem, for example. It's great feedback, and we'll definitely consider that.
Great, thanks, Jeff. This next question is coming in about Braille. Does Windows 11 support using the same Braille display with Narrator and JAWS and NVDA?
Yeah, so again, you can refer to the Narrator user guide at aka.ms/narrator guide, or you can get to it from Narrator Home after launching Narrator. And we have information in one of the chapters in the guide, as well as Appendix C, where you can find out all of the information about Braille displays that are currently supported in Narrator. And if your Braille display was supported in Windows 10, then that support remains in Windows 11. We use Braille TTY and LibLouis, and we support dozens of Braille displays today using that technology.
Awesome, thanks, Jeff. This next tweet is about Anne's demo. As a sighted accessibility user, I'm finding Anne's demo wonderfully accessible. So thank you, Anne, for your demo.
Thank you very much.
Awesome, thanks. Okay, next we have something coming in from Twitter. This is related to the Neural Voices. Are you planning to use Microsoft Neural Voice as Microsoft TTS voices that can be used with screen readers?
Yeah, again, great feedback. Would love to if you could file that and get that to us. We've heard this feedback, but we again have nothing to announce.
Great, thanks, Jeff. And I am going to take another question here. Let's see. Okay, next question. Where is ease of access in Windows 11? I can't seem to find it. So I can go ahead and take this one. So ease of access is now known as accessibility. And we saw this in some of the demos that the team did, both in the quick access settings as well in the system settings for Windows. So ease of access is now called accessibility in Windows 11. And the accessibility options have improved and are gathered under the three main areas, vision, hearing, and interaction. So those are some of the improvements there. And so what you want to be looking for on Windows 11 is accessibility, not ease of access. And let me come over here, see if there's any more questions coming in. So we have one more. Will my custom high contrast themes I created in Windows 10 still work? And this is another one that I can speak to. Yes, they will still work. If you are using custom themes, they will be kept. If you use a default theme, such as high contrast black or high contrast white, you will be upgraded to the improved experience. So that's a little bit about high contrast. Let me come back over here. Okay, another question has just come in from email. How do you pin applications to the startup menu using JAWS? I'm wondering maybe if that's one that Anne or Brett could talk to.
So, Brett, you want to go ahead. You want to take it?
No,
you want me to?
I was just going to say that what's great about Windows 11 is that whether it's JAWS, NVDA, Narrator, the concept is the same. The steps are still the same. And so what Anne has demoed today about using the context menu key pin to start will work with any assistive technology from a screen reading perspective. So whether it's JAWS, Nvda Narrator, or any of the other excellent choices for screen reading, it should all work the same.
Yep. And you can pin and unpin using the application key.
Yeah.
On your computer.
Right.
Or the
Shift
context menu
F10.
key.
Yep.
Or Shift F10. That's right.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that's really important to note is that part of doing this is not just about screen readers, but it's about how do we make things really work well for keyboarding. So you'll see that those two things are very complementary. So often when you hear us demo, we try to remind and speak through the keys like, hey, we hit the Windows key button or we hit the application key button so that you can understand and follow along. But it should work well in all of the screen readers. And if not, press Windows key F, give us the feedback, let us know, and we'll continue to work on it.
Yeah.
Great, thanks, Brett. Okay, next question. I was just wondering where I can learn more about the new ribbon available in File Explorer in Windows 11 and which commands were used to demonstrate during the session. I think this one's for Anne, maybe.
So the new ribbon in File Explorer, all you have to do is press Alt key. You can certainly get in touch with DAD or EDAD, Enterprise Disability Answer Desk or Disability Answer Desk, to learn about new features that are also available, not only in File Explorer, but across Windows 11. And that is really a good support resources that that you should think about taking advantage of. And they can direct you to other resources for other support material that are available on Microsoft website. So get in touch with Dad and EDAD. They're really great folks.
Thanks, Anne. This next question is coming through from email. What is the best way to submit feedback to the Microsoft Accessibility team? Jeff, would you like to talk about this one?
Yeah, you bet. You know, the Feedback Hub, which is accessed with the Windows key plus the letter F, or you can use Narrator Alt F as well. The Narrator key is either the caps lock key or the insert key while running Narrator. You can just walk through that experience. It's a wizard type experience. It asks you a series of questions, asks you to describe the problem in detail. It will ask you to allow it to capture specific information, and you can then send that on to us. You know, that's something that we should probably talk a little bit about. You know, we take your feedback very seriously. In fact, one of the things that we do many days a week here at Microsoft is we do a process of what we call triaging, where we take a look at every customer issue that comes into our team and talk about it, make sure that it's getting addressed and appropriately, you know, looked at, whether it's on our team or it may need to be moved to a different product team to be addressed, whatever the case may be. We're always constantly looking at your feedback and reaching out sometimes to provide you feedback on that, or to give you information about the feedback that you submit. So it's something that we do a lot of, and it's really important. I can't tell you how important it really is for you to provide that level of feedback to us. It's how we innovate in product. Your voice is significantly heard, and so please keep the feedback coming. It's so important.
Great, thanks, Jeff. Looking at the time, we have probably time for one more question. We're at 12:55. So I will go ahead. We had one more question come in through Twitter. Can I in Windows 11 assign a different sound for different email accounts if my email client is MS Outlook 365? Assign a unique sound for each account, not the same sound for all accounts. Is anyone familiar with this one?
I think it would be best to have the Disability Answer Desk address this one.
Yeah.
That's probably the correct answer here. Technically, yes, it's possible, but again, probably a little more involved here. I would definitely reach out to the Disability Answer Desk for that answer.
That is a great point, Jeff, and I will just reiterate a little bit on the resources. If you didn't get to your questions or just have questions that we're encouraging you to ask the Disability Answer Desk, You can do that through aka.ms/DAD for Disability Answer Desk. So that is a great resource for the people on the call. I think, we have one more question coming in just about, will this session be made available? And the answer to that is yes. This recording is going to be made available, and we will send out information when this recording is available. And I think I'm not seeing any more questions coming through, so I think we can probably wrap here. That's about all the time we have for questions. Please continue to send us feedback. Like all the presenters were saying today, the feedback we get has really helped us prioritize and think about the next things we want to work on. So please continue to send us feedback. Thank you so much for joining us today for this accessibility webinar.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.